Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Black and Orange channel, where I take your political questions out of the chat. I'm here 365 days of the year, and on certain days, I get really, really lucky, and Jenn Lynn can join in. So, everybody, if you have, I don't know how you could not have, but if you have not followed, subscribe to Jenn Lynn Tarot. If you have not gone to her website to book a personal reading, I highly, highly, highly recommend. If I don't do personal readings, and I recommend Jenn Lynn because she's that good.
I do them full time. It's my only source of income. So to buy all these wonderful kitty treats for the kitties for Christmas. I got out of the corporate world, so I understand the corporate world quite a bit after 40 years and started reading full time. I was always reading on the side. But I love meeting people from the chat and everything and doing the readings. So it's pretty easy to schedule through my website.
Yes. And it's, what's the URL?
JennLynnTarot.com.
JennLynnTarot.com.
2 N's in Jen.
Yeah. All right. So we have kitties. All right. So who have we got there?
We have Bella, which is chaos. We have Roro, which is mayhem, and we have Skewy in my lap here, which is pandemonium. As Becca calls them. Becca always refers to them as chaos, mayhem, and pandemonium.
Oh. And Becca is Becca from House of Lenormand. Do follow House Lenormand. Nobody's doing what she's doing. She does these amazing Lenormand grand tableaus. It's the only place you're going to get that kind of good, those kind of readings. So. All right.
Skewy, you dropped yours.
Well, since you're doing that, instead of going with the question we were going to start with, do you want me to start with something else where I was going to read some things off while you're...
I'm going to put the treats away, which means the kitties will start scattering, and
okay.
They'll probably go take their naps here in a second.
Oh, Aspie Third, I'm with you. Waiting for Becca's grand tableau on Jack Smith. Yes. Mary Huddleston, I agree. Becca is amazing, and she is hilarious. Yes, she is.
Happy Hanukkah also to those who celebrate Hanukkah. Tomorrow's the last day of Hanukkah.
Yes, absolutely. Happy holidays, everybody. Also, I have a bonus. I've been giving away things this month, either drawings or just giveaways, and I have a bonus image for you today, and I cannot for the life of me get that blog to show up on my website.
Oh man.
But I have I had this great image, and it's all right. Anyway.
Tonight, by the way, we will be live on our usual Sunday night on House of Lenormand's channel with Johnny and Becca. We're also on Johnny's channel New Year's Eve. We'll be doing a live with guest readers like we always do, the fundraiser, probably for feedingamerica.org. Not sure. Johnny was kind enough to host this year. I've done it the last 2 years. So we'll be live for like 5 hours, hitting all the different time zones. And it's always fun. We usually have anywhere from 7 to 9 different readers on.
I'll be there.
Sorry? We can't wait. People will be coming and going because it's so long. You have to take pee breaks, right?
Exactly. But here, let me just share this quickly. Proof of art. It's not really proof of life because I'm alive. It's more like I made a thing. Share screen. Nobody's gonna be there today. I'm gonna have to contact the providers or something because I can't figure it. I'm stuck. But anyway, I did make an image for all of you to wish you happy holidays, everybody.
Nice.
So that's what I did. All right. So I wanted to give that to you today, but here we are. All right. Okay. So let me close that, and thank you, everybody. All right.
Thank you to our moderators that have helped us all year.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
And also, last thing I just want to mention before we get into the reading, I didn't get to talk about it more yesterday at the end of, I said I was going to talk about Kirsten Langston. Third Eye Champagne, anything you can do to help her, please do. And she is a phenomenal person. She's an excellent reader. She inspired the whole movement of political tarot on YouTube, and she has changed lives for the good. She's changed many lives for the good. She has helped so many people. When I had, the only time I have not, tomorrow is actually the anniversary of me going live every single day. And I did that, the first time I did that was in 2019.
Wow.
So all of 2020, 21, and now 22. So for 3 solid years, I've been here every day, except in April of 2020, I was gone for 5 days because one of my cats, I'd let him out, but he had a collar with GPS on it and, the whole thing. And I'd literally track him as he was moving around. And he just vanished. And the company who makes a tracker wouldn't help me. I was just like, where did it disappear? Because the cats, they stay in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
And he was close enough that day, all the lines were overlapping. And they just ignored me. They just completely,
Man.
Anyway, it was just a nightmare, but he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He gets brushed twice a day. He gets water out of the tap. He has his bed in the front window.
These 3 are water cats. And I've had a couple of cats in my past, 40 years that were water cats. But these guys, because I put the water dripping when we went sub-zero, and they all took turns getting in the bathroom sink, taking their little kitty shower with the water dripping all down their back. They love it.
Good.
And then they come get on my lap and they're soaking wet. I'm like, really?
Yeah, because they're toddlers, and they always will. There's some part of them they will always be toddlers. Joyce says, I remember when you didn't show your face, was happy when you did. Oh, thank you.
I remember that too. I was watching you back then. I didn't discover the readers on YouTube until August of 2018. You were one of the first. You, Lena, and Linda G was the first one I saw. And she said, you readers need to get on here and help calm people down. So I was like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll start a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I was. It was like, I'm doing all these readings anyway, because I'd hear news, I'd be like, where are my cards? Oh my God. And it was like, I'm doing this anyway, and I've got a camera. I should help others. But anyway, yes, where that started out was
with Chris.
Yes, Chris. Alfie took off. Yeah. It wasn't his fault, actually, it turns out. But anyway, but he's fine. And Kirsten helped me find him. Yeah, because she would do these readings. She would do these email readings type thing, but somehow I remember, did she talk? I think I can almost hear her talking to me. So anyway, it was a while ago and I was very stressed. But anyway, Kirsten's, her appendix burst, and they can't even find it on the scans. And if you haven't watched her video, I linked to it yesterday. And she has 5 different bacterial infections. She has lost a ton of weight, and she was already a tiny thing. She's only 5'2". in the first place. And she wasn't, she was always, well, she's always been gorgeous, but that lithe figure, but very, just beautiful. And she has just lost so much weight. And Linda G the other day said that Kirsten dropped down to 102 pounds. And there's still, her doctors are still saying that bad things could still happen. And she has to have surgery. And we're all hoping, every single one of us are hoping that it's just to go in and repair some things, because otherwise she's going to have a bunch of stuff taken out, and it's, or worse. So it's just
positive white light to Kristen to heal all that infection out, to remove all that infection, and to heal her organs and everything that may have been affected by that infection.
Yeah. And I do hope she can feel the love, how much she is loved by so many people. And I mean, I just go near her energy, and it's like being in a place where the lights are on and bright. And that is not just her being a bright light, but that is the amount of love coming toward her from people. So, and oh man.
That's right, Cece. Jake Tapper from CNN, his daughter, her appendix burst and got misdiagnosed, and it took her months to heal. So keep her in your prayers. Keep sending her energy to heal.
Yeah. We were talking just before we came on, and I don't want to go too far into the weeds here, but we were talking before it came on about doing personal readings and things like that. And one of the things is that whenever I would decide I'm going to focus on that, it's like my guides were like, no, you've got this other stuff you need to be doing. There's a plan here. Get with the plan. And it's like, no, this would help me, and this would, and
you have to have time to write. That takes time.
Yeah, I have to have writing and graphics and all this other stuff, and the daily live streams, which I'm very happy to say I've heard back from some people saying that it's really helped them through some dark times. Just me showing up here every day with my, let's face it, I'm a little extra. And it's also been good for me. So even if I do have Gemini rising, which means how I present myself to the world, hands.
Gemini rising hands. Too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. And Aries, but Gemini rising.
You avoided this. Good for you.
Well, I used to have long nails. Now I only have them on this hand for playing guitar, and I had to file them all off on this hand for playing guitar. So I used to keep my nails painted and get manicures all the time. I gave all that up when I started guitar.
Oh, but you're playing guitar, and that is awesome. Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. So, yeah.
And it's never too late to learn something new. I started guitar at 57.
Yeah. You've got to listen to what works, and life will intervene if you. I mean, we have free will, but at the same time, it's complicated because all of time is simultaneous. Einstein figured that one out. All of time from the beginning of the universe to the end of it has already happened, or it just went poof. And if you could somehow sit on a photon, you could see sitting on a photon, you could see from the beginning of the universe to the end of it.
I think that's why psychics can pick up on things from the past and things from the future. Like, I can't always tell, like, was that in the past or is that to come? Yep. It's time is irrelevant.
Yep. And people will sometimes say to me something like, when I come back, I'm going to come back as, or I want to come back as this, that. And I'm thinking, you've already been back.
Yeah, you've already done that.
But okay, and it also means that us in these lifetimes, we are an offshoot of our higher selves in each one of these lives. And each one is precious, but finite, as far as our time down here goes. But we are eternal, and we all return to the same place. So if there's any message, we'll at the end we'll ask for a message from Spirit. But I give you guys the same message every day. You are not alone. We are in this together. So anyway, all right. So you, Miss Jenn Lynn, wonderful Jenn Lynn, you wanted us to ask about George Santos.
George Santos, the chronic, unbelievable liar. Like, oh my God, Trump lies every day. We kind of got numb to that, but he has lied about some really big things, and he's supposed to be seated in Congress January 3rd. He's from New York. He beat out a Democrat to take the seat, so he flipped the seat. But he's lied about working for Goldman Sachs. He's lied about working for Citigroup. He lied about his real estate investments at 17 real estate buildings he supposedly owns. No record.
Are you going to sing?
Oh, shall I sing it? He lied
Please.
about Goldman Sachs. He lied about Citigroup. He lied about his real estate investments. He lied about his mother's death. He lied about his GoFundMe. He lied about his campaign finance. He lied about going to college. He lied about his name. He can't pay his rent, all his money spent, and he lied about being gay. What else has he lied about? Like every day, if you go to Midas Touch, they do a video every day on him. They have a little recap of everything he's lied about, and then they go into the new lies every day. It was really funny because Johnny texted me from Gerald's Apprentice. He texted me, oh my God, he's lied about everything but his name. And I said, hold my beer, send him a link to a video where he had lied about his name.
Wow. I am so curious what this guy's chart looks like. I mean, traditionally...
Well, he probably lied about his date of birth, so who knows?
That's true. Now that I think about it, how would we know?
How would you know? This guy is unbelievable.
When you grow up, you can be anything you want to. No, that is not what she meant.
So, he's supposed to be seated January 3rd. Kevin McCarthy needs all the Republicans he can to vote for him. Thank you, Suburban Housewife. So I want to know, will he be seated January 3rd? Okay. With all these lies, Letitia James has started an investigation in New York on him. We need some federal investigations also into his campaign finance and stuff, where his money came from. He's got connections to Russian oligarchs.
Surprise.
Surprise. Oh, he lied doing calls to get campaign donations. He acted like he was Mitch McConnell's aide. So he lied about being Mitch McConnell's aide. Like, there's not enough verses in 12 Days of Christmas for him to cover all of his lies.
Wow.
Like, unless we make it like the 25 Days of Christmas or something. The song is not long enough.
Wow.
Hey, Beth Cat.
And the thing is, the song, the song is originally, it's a drinking song is what it is. That's what it was originally. It was just and there were all these different variations of them, and this one stuck, where it was as you would drink throughout Christmas night, and it was, could you sing it? Would you get lost and hilarity would ensue? It was a drinking song then. And the lies, you can't even keep them straight. If
I did a drinking song for every lie he tells, I'd be snockered all day, every day. Thank you.
You'd be dead.
I'd be alcohol poisoning.
Yes, you would. Oh my gosh! And by the way, thank you, Jeffrey, from earlier. I'm so sorry I missed that. And thank you, Suburban Housewife. All right. If your name really is George Santos.
The person who calls himself George Santos. Are you going to be sworn into Congress?
Oh my gosh. What is it? What was that? Oh, I forget his name. Lying Liars and the Liars who was it? It was Al Franken. It was an Al Franken book from way back when. It was Lying Liars to lie. Charlene says he was married. Was he? Can we
he
prove
was
it?
married, got a divorce, he says, married to a woman, and then said that he was openly gay and the Republicans embraced him. So did he lie about being heterosexual or homosexual? Don't know. It's just the hypocrisy of it all. Yeah. I don't care which way his boat floats. I care that he lies about it.
Or he could be bi. I mean, it's just, I don't care. As long as whoever he's with is a consenting adult and fully.
And he's honest about it.
Honest, right. But I think that's his challenge. I'm getting a whole lot of like feminine energy here. So I won't go into the whole thing, but he feels straight for whatever it's worth. But please, thank you, Mel. Thank you. What did you get?
I think he may end up getting blocked. I have my card for being blocked on the bottom. Completion and running for the government. He's going to be in a lot of trouble over the money, campaign finance money, maybe tax fraud, over investigations. I get out in the cold, maybe having to wait to be seated. I do get that there's a higher authority that will take an action against him. He's a loser and he's covering up everything. Something is going to change. I think he's going to end up with DOJ all over his butt. Thief and oh gosh, I just get like he's going to have DOJ on him, and it has to do with the money mostly. So I get they won't accept him in Congress at some point, or they'll kick him out once he's in. Joyce
is saying he lied that his mother was killed on 9/11. That's yes. No shame. Oh gosh,
that was one of my lines. Lied about his mother's death.
Oh man!
He did a GoFundMe to fund her funeral, even though he was making supposedly $700,000 a year to $1 million a year. But at one time, he only made $50,000 a year. So all of a sudden, he made all this extra money. He is unbelievable.
Lucky Girl says, "Will the real George Santos please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up." Okay, so what I'm getting here is a lot of what you said. His lies have lies. His lies have extra lies with an extra dose of lies. In the lying, he's lied about the money. Ooh, little juggling, little here, little there. Da, 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 da. In the center of the reading, I've got a partnership with a woman. And that energy feels very strong. It's in this partnership card, as you know, but for others out there, this does not necessarily mean a heterosexual partnership, but this feels like it. I'm getting very strong feminine energy. I've got waiting to see what happens, and I've got a big old temperance authority stepping in.
Hold my beer, temperance. Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. So I asked for and the card for that reading, 10 of Swords. It's just bad. So then I asked for any more information. Power, woman specifically. I've got. He thinks he got in there with this great victory, but there's the strength of a woman. And then I've got some disappointment. But yeah, I think we've got mostly the same cards, and the ones that are different are saying the same thing. Yeah,
he is unbelievable.
wow.
It's been like less than a week since they broke the story. I think it was on Tuesday about all his lies. Although his local paper had been publishing it in New York, it broke big, like on Twitter and everything. And then Midas Touch started doing their daily videos, and it's like every day I have to go see. Okay, what came out today? What did you lie about today?
Mm-hmm. Hang on, there was a good question. Where was it? Oh, Teresa, I was asking, do you feel mental illness there? Is that what's going on here?
Is it mental illness or greed?
I mean, is maybe he's just the original, you know, in the original sense, the con man, the confidence man. Some people just find they've got a knack for it. And
Is it like, I mean, Trump is mentally ill in my opinion, but also greed and ego, so it's a little bit of a combination.
yeah. His narcissism does not make him not responsible for his own decisions.
Yeah, I get mentally he's secure, so he's aware. He just wants to win. I've got on the bottom the page of Pinnacles. It's about the money, anything he can get away with. There's Temperance also. His fortune is just about to change here, though. He's been doing this long, long time. He's partying and trying to act like he's the rich king. I think it's greed.
I didn't get that much information. What I did get, I joke sometimes because I've been in therapy off and on throughout my life. I highly recommend it. Finding a good therapist. If you have any kind of trauma, EMDR therapy is your friend. Good stuff. But I joke with my therapist every once in a while. You know, I'll be sitting down or whatever, and I will say to them, "So tell me about your mother." You know, making fun of Freud back in the day. And that I flip this over, and that's what it felt like. So tell me about your mother. Family. And I've also got but the main cards are all legal. Truth, investigations, insult to injury. But it's also, this queen feels important as well. He's got issues. I'm not getting mentally ill. I'm getting staggering bad coping mechanisms. And that he just decided, hey, this is fun and I can get away with it. So
it was interesting that his lies really blew up big on the day that Zelensky, was speaking to Congress and talking with Biden and everything, because he's anti-Zelensky, anti-Ukraine, pro-Putin. For entertainment purposes only, YouTube. We are not.
Yeah, we are most certainly not pro-Putin. Okay. 29:30. Okay. You have to let me read something to you. I'm not going to do it in a funny voice because it's already a lot. So, Donald Trump decided he was going to go on Truth Social, and he was going to, there it is, he was going to make a Christmas post, right? Okay. So what he posted was, all right, wherever I get a little bit shouty, that's where it's in all caps. Oh no, reload the page. What do you mean? Did it kick me out? Okay, it's reloading. Okay, sorry. All right. Merry Christmas to everyone, including the radical left Marxists that are trying to destroy our country. Pa-ra-pa-pa-pum. Oh my gosh. Merry Christmas to everyone, including the radical left Marxists that are trying to destroy our country.
First time he's included the radical left in a Christmas wish.
Yeah. Also, I would just like to just say this just for the record. I know it's petty grammatical stuff, but when you're talking about a person, it isn't a that, it's a who. It should be including the radical left Marxists or whomever who are trying to destroy our country, not that. People are not objects. And I know a lot of people, I know this happens a lot, but I even find myself as I'm reading things out loud in general, I'll start correcting it just as I go. Anyway, so of course you got it wrong. Okay, so let me hold it together because there's this isn't short. Okay. Merry Christmas to everyone, including the radical left Marxists that are trying to destroy our country. The Federal Bureau of Investigation that is illegally coercing and paying Social and LameStream Media to push for a mentally disabled Democrat over the brilliant, clairvoyant, and USA-loving Donald J. Trump.
Oh, he's psychic now.
We're only halfway through.
I'll try not to interrupt.
No, you can please do. So he's clairvoyant. You're clairvoyant, are you? And you didn't see any of this happening to you. Just clairvoyant, are you? Clear seeing. No, you're so... Yeah, I love that, Trillium Tarot. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Trillium Tarot. Yeah, if he's clairvoyant, I'm the Holy Roman Emperor. And Layla, I'm so sorry. Layla, Integral Soul, said clairvoyant. Did he spell it correctly? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Did he? Okay, but he's clairvoyant, apparently. Ooh, all right. So the Social and LameStream Media is pushing for a mentally disabled Democrat over the brilliant, clairvoyant, and USA-loving Donald John Trump. Ew. And, of course, the Department of Injustice, which appointed a special prosecutor who, together with his wife and family, hates Trump more than any other person on earth. And then in all caps.
I'm kind of thinking he may have meant a different word than clairvoyant, maybe charismatic or something.
And then okay. The Department of Injustice, which has appointed a special prosecutor who, together with his wife and family, hates Trump more than any other person on earth. And he finishes in all caps, love to all. Love to all.
Shield yourselves from that. Shield yourselves from that.
The best is yet to come. No. What? Okay. Trump has lost the plot. Okay, so yeah, for someone claiming to be clairvoyant, should he not have seen his actions weren't going to lead to a good outcome? Okay, so what did he mean? Is he? I mean, I assume he's just panicking. But let's check in on Trump. I'm guessing he didn't mean clairvoyant, but who knows? He did I'm not exaggerating this. You can go back and watch the video. We've all heard that he said he's the chosen one. No. He was standing outside when he gave that speech, and he glanced up and said, "I am the chosen one." Yeah.
Chosen one to go to jail. Or the mental hospital, whichever comes first.
Oh, he's definitely choice.
Pro-choice. Mental hospital, jail.
So
is the question...
Oh, it's did he mean clairvoyant, and kind of what is going on?
Does he think he's clairvoyant? I doubt if he knows what the word clairvoyant means.
Did he mean something else, or is he just that?
Does he think he's clairvoyant?
I don't think he meant that.
And I'm one of those people. I think all people are psychic. It's just a matter of how much you open up to it. I mean, we all get gut feelings and stuff. You know, it's just some of us are a little more open to it.
Yeah.
But I get Trump right off the bat is blocked from any psychic abilities, clairvoyance. What I do get is that he can see that justice is coming for him.
What I love
that he can see with some strong cases against him, and he's getting all emotional. These are both high emotion cards. Elvis has left the building. He is not clairvoyant. He's not a medium either. He can't pick up on Elvis.
No.
And he's trying to push for more money too. So he's appealing to his base to give him more money so he can get back in power. Yeah, yes. He wants to be back in power.
Yes. I only pulled 3 cards and then a card for the reading, but what I got was clairvoyant my eye. Just no. And you were saying what he sees is people coming for him. You mean aggressive law enforcement leading to the tower? Boom. And what I got was, if he actually ran across something, a ghost, had a psychic experience, it would freak him out. Thank you, Rachel. He would flip out. He is as psychic as a brick. Now, I do believe, since we are all, astrology basically says that when you left your mother's energy field, that you were this blank slate. This is how I see it anyway. You're like a blank X-ray plate, and as soon as you leave your mother's energy field, the universe goes zap, and that's your chart. The moment that you are in the world of your own, and you are the embodiment of this place in space-time. And I'm really happy, if you don't mind me saying a half diversion here. Thank you so much. I apparently helped a couple of people yesterday, because I was explaining how we talk about the past, and it's like the past is here, or haunts us or what have you. And the reality is, because time and space are so intertwined, and the solar system as part of the galaxy is actually moving kind of upwards, the past is literally millions of miles away. So time is linked directly to space. And so our past, if you're haunted by your past is literally millions of miles. Whatever you're worried about, it's gone. It's not just gone in time, it's gone in space. And that helps some people. So I wanted to just share that, make sure everybody's heard it, in case that helps somebody, because some people said it helped. So Anyway, but oh my gosh, he's so awful. But we are these the kind of flowering of these moments in space-time, and inside of us each in this lifetime is all of the potential of that moment in space-time, and that gives different people different gifts and different abilities, and some people are just more open to the spiritual because that's
I think
part of
too,
what they're doing.
that's why sometimes we're not always accurate, because there's other things out in the ethers. We pick up on options and try to bring clarity to that. But everybody's got free will, so that can shift. So yeah, we're wrong sometimes.
Oh yeah, but there are some people who they have specific work orders while they're here. It's like, you need to be working on this and this and this, and so they're supposed to be there. Even it'll be even in their chart that their spirituality is maybe tamped down some, so that they can focus more on this other stuff they're supposed to be working on. But he's just dumb as a brick. He has made decision after decision after decision, and his energy vibration is so low through all of his choices and actions. The man, there's no. Of course he doesn't believe in God. Of course he doesn't believe there's a divine spirit. Of course he doesn't believe in asking for forgiveness, although I'm twitchy on that one. But he doesn't believe in anything like that because he's that awful of a person. He's chosen to be that awful of a person. All right,
it's choice.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. All right, so Miss Sarah, my friend Miss Sarah, she was kind enough this morning. She went and got some questions for me.
Merry Christmas, Sarah. Miss you today.
very much miss you. And anyway, so she, of course, you guys know how funny she is. So she gave me this question, but she didn't just read it straight. So she started by saying, well, apparently Donald Trump's down in Mar-a-Lago singing all by myself. Carmen, Eric Carmen?
Eric Carmen, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, insiders are reporting that Trump is in a downward spiral while he's holed up in Florida, and that he's essentially just wandering around Mar-a-Lago all day with nothing to do. Is his mental health deteriorating?
He doesn't even get to DJ as much as he'd like to.
Yeah. So my response to Sarah was, okay, is his mental health deteriorating? So a quarter of an inch above the ground to the ground?
There were some pictures taken in Mar-a-Lago at some event just the other day. Thank you, Carol. Where it looked like he had buxom adult film stars all over Mar-a-Lago. It's like, okay, and Melania's probably locked behind a closed door, trying to stay away from it.
She's staying with her parents.
Yeah. She's like, I'm out, but it just looked like trash people all over the place.
Well, there is that article that just came out that there are two women, one in particular. She follows him around, has a golf cart that sometimes has a printer on it, so she can constantly feed him people saying nice things about him. And when there isn't enough good news or people talking about him, she literally phones people Trump knows and says, give him a call.
Give him a pep talk.
Yeah. All day, every day. And then he goes to lunch and he goes to dinner in the dining hall, and everybody claps for him.
He is just that starved for attention.
That's you got issues. Your issues have subscriptions. So is his mental health deteriorating, or is this just he's less in everybody's face? We know, taking a step back, he announced his candidacy for president far too early. I mean, we know why he did it, because DeSantis was taking some of his money.
I think he's close to a mental health breakdown. I get, this card represents lunacy for me, and this is genetic, like family inheritance. It does run in his family. His dad had Alzheimer's. I get a big yes card with this, that he is getting burdened and maybe close to a mental breakdown even over it, that he is staying medicated. And I get the downward spiral happened, as Biden came in, and he saw everybody loving Biden. That started the decline, so to speak. Part of it is still his smug little ego and running loops in his head, or over and over and over. He tells himself how wonderful he is. He doesn't need anybody to call him. He tells himself how wonderful he is. But there is a mental loop running in his head that's getting worse.
Sorry about the phone. It's not mine.
Okay.
This is a man that if he was trapped somewhere completely by himself for, or like, even if he was like stranded in like a cabin, he was stranded, but then he found like a cabin, so he had a roof over his head, and he had water, and he had a fire, and he so he's not going to starve, and he's creatures comforts are taken care of, but he was there by himself for an extended period of time, even like a week or two. His entire psyche would eat itself from the inside out. He has to keep moving. He has like a shark. No, but he has to keep moving, not because he's the great predator, but he's the lunacy card. It's the demons, not real demons, the demons that we all have at some point or another, that are kind of haunting us, and several decades of therapy would do him good. But he's just isolation. He cannot withstand it mentally.
He can't accept, narcissists are very unlikely to change. And that's rule one. Like they are even if they get into therapy, they're very unlikely to change. If they can blame their parents for everything, they're fine. As soon as they have to take accountability for themselves, they drop out of therapy. They won't stick with it. So you take them through their childhood, they're okay. They can blame everything on their parents. You get them to 18, 19, 20 years old, they can't accept responsibility for themselves. They got to keep blaming everybody else.
Yeah. The lunacy we just talked about, and if he was by himself for too long with his thoughts, so he would start blaming everybody else. It was stolen from me. This was all stolen from me. Every bad thing in my life was someone stole it from me.
I'm being backstabbed. I'm the victim. He says that over and over. I'm the victim. It's like, well, guess what? You put that out in the universe, that you're the victim, you're going to get a lot of stuff that puts you there.
Well, he makes enough decisions. I think half the time, it's like the universe is like, I don't have to do anything. I'm just standing here, just, I don't know if sometimes I'll because I picture the other side. I picture the guides and everything. I picture it like it's on the floor above us, with their like holes in the ceiling that goes up to our higher selves. And our guides are just kind of there, and they can talk to each other. But anyway, sometimes I'll go, it's like, okay, and go send some energy to kind of pick up on Trump's guides. And it is chaos. It's like a hurricane, the energy. And you try to talk to one of his guides, and what it just feels like is they're like, we're doing everything we can. He does not listen to us.
They try to knock on that door to break that barrier, and he won't open it because he knows better than even his guides.
Yeah. But I can't even figure out why the energy on that level around him is, it's like a horrible windstorm. And it's like, oh, that's horrible, but that's what he's here to do. So you think he's going to have his, you think he might actually have a full breakdown?
He could be heading towards one. Now, I have always seen him in a straitjacket, which is my symbol for, mental issues. At first, when I've thrown cards on it, I think he's going to use the insanity plea in court, because that's what Roy Kahn taught him to do, that represented all the mafia people. But I think he also, because he's so twisted and demented in his head, he also does have some mental issues.
Funny you should say that, because 5130, law experts believe that at this point, the only way Trump could get away from his actions for January 6th is if he pleaded insanity. But would his ego let him?
If it meant keeping him out of jail, and because that's what Roy Kahn taught him, I think he would. But let me ask the cards.
Well, what I'm thinking is, because I don't think until he would be convicted and sentenced and actually confined in some way, I think it's only at that moment where he all that time he would just say, I'm going to get away with it. I'm going to get away with it. It doesn't matter how bad it looks. I'm going to get away with it. I'm going to get away with it.
I'll blame somebody else. I'll blame my advisors in the administration or Rudy Giuliani. I'll find somebody else to blame.
Yeah. So pleading insanity, I don't think his ego could take it, but let's see. I'm with you. We'll check the cards. That's just my opinion. Yes, Darren, a number of psychiatrists did write a book about 45 and about his narcissism. Yep. Also, I have a question for you about writing, or not about writing, about reading as well.
Okay.
In a minute.
There he is in a padded little cell, all alone. He's unbalanced enough and hopeful enough to use that insanity plea that this is premeditated. This is planned. If he needs it to get to higher ground in the courts, if he feels he's losing with the investigators, he will change his plea. I get he's actually quite strong. But if he tells investigators he's insane, they'll agree with him and they'll put him in this padded little cell. Like, here you go.
Because I'm getting a lot of that too. I'm getting as soon as it looks like he's facing real confinement of whatever type, and the end is nigh, he goes back to his lawyers and is willing to listen to whatever they have to say. And if they can get some doctors somewhere to sign off on, yep, he's alone. I'm not saying that the insanity plea isn't real. I'm just saying in his case, it's a ploy. That man knows what he's doing.
Premeditated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was going to ask you, when you are pulling cards, how many are you pulling, and are you doing like a Celtic cross? Are you doing a group?
Let me get a couple of tea things down. Let me see if I can angle down. Give me a question to pull on.
Is Donald Trump ever going to see the inside of a prison cell? Even like being
even
held
briefly
yeah.
before he gets out on bail, even briefly.
Yeah.
So I do the middle of a Celtic cross. I don't do the column up the side. I pull additional cards because I see a story unfolding. I used to do a Celtic cross, but I no longer do that. That's a no card for me on the bottom, but let's see. I like to see the whole story. So I pulled the middle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I pull for as long as I am getting a story. Like sometimes I'll pull more, sometimes less. Sometimes it's like three or four cards. But I get, will he ever see the inside of a jail? I get, no, he's secure. He's working with doctors. Okay, that's my doctor's card. Like for healing purposes and support, a premeditated something, a premeditated breakdown. And he has paid people off to do this. So I get, again, I'm getting, the investigators will be like, okay, if your brain is that, we're going to let you get away with that. We're going to just put you in there making license plates every day. We'll put you in a mental hospital to make your license plates. You don't have to go to jail.
But would they put him on, I've definitely picked up on at some point.
It's going to be crafting.
There we go. Trump crochet. No, I have picked up on Trump wearing an ankle monitor at some point. Would they put him on home confinement and that's it?
Let me ask that.
I can ask it too. Sorry. Let me. And by the way, that is fascinating.
I think he's too. Yeah, he's too high of a security threat. In the old days when I would record videos and upload them, not the live streams, I used to angle the camera down every now and then so people could see how I pull cards. It's just hard on the live streams because I can't follow the chat when I do that.
And Johnny angles his camera down for a lot of the short readings he does.
The short readings, yeah.
Yeah.
And I started by not showing my face, and I was like, "Oh, this is silly." So I started popping the camera up and showing my face. But then I would have to angle it down, and I have lighting issues because my house was built in 1862. There's very few electric outlets in the house, and it's hard for me to get the right lighting. So, like, all the snow behind me is causing a big glare this morning. All that white outside, it's putting a glare. But it's how many cards I pull is different. Like if I start seeing a whole long story evolving, even in personal readings, I keep pulling. I'll pull. If I'm doing a health spread, I lay in rows. If I'm trying to see timing, I lay in rows. But as I'm shuffling, I focus on, am I going to look in days, weeks, or months?
Okay.
So I'm programming the read by, I'm going to look in days, weeks, or months, depending on what I'm picking up. And I'll lay in rows to get an idea.
You were such a good reader.
But I've been reading since I was 19. But when my clairaudience opened up more, when I learned healing energy work and opened up my clairaudience more, it shifted, and also learning energy work. I'm like you, like a lot of times I'm reading the energy of the cards as well as the literal meanings of the cards. And my guide has a sense of humor, so sometimes I hear really funny stuff. But it's shifted. When I learned healing energy work, it shifted a little bit how I did readings, and I quit doing the Celtic cross, the full Celtic cross. I do like the center because it gives me everything that's going on, that interplay between the cards, I can really see clearly in the middle.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I had a question. I was asking a question about Trump, and I can't remember what I asked.
I can't remember what you asked now either.
Hey guys, in the chat, what did I ask?
Because we were looking, will he ever serve time in prison? And then Trillium. I also program my cards for health readings. So my card meanings are totally different if I'm doing a health spread than when I'm doing a regular spread, like relationships or how so-and-so going to react or whatever. Ankle monitor. Will he ever be in an ankle monitor?
That was it. Thank you.
Will he be in home confinement or will he be put away somewhere?
Okay.
You lucky girl.
Thank you. And of course, the one person who was like on it is a lucky girl because she's awesome.
I'm kind of wondering, when they raided to get those documents back, they temporarily took his passports back and then gave them back to him. And he had a diplomatic passport and his regular personal one. I'm kind of wondering if they put him on a no-fly list while they had his passports.
There's a real possibility there.
Like you're stealing top secret documents. Hell yeah, put him on a no-fly list. So will he ever be in home confinement with an ankle bracelet?
And thank you everybody in the chat who's helping out, and Ricky and Gretchen and Teresa, and thank you everybody.
I don't see that, Autumn, like before I even pull cards, because he has too many foreigners and stuff in Mar-a-Lago and stuff. He's too high a security risk.
Yeah. Well, and assuming, I mean, the likelihood of him being in home confinement at Mar-a-Lago is zero. A lot of that is probably because he's going to lose Mar-a-Lago. The financial disaster.
Yeah, he's a thief. It's those stolen documents. He's a thief. I get Justice Department has looked at options. They've considered that in the past. That's in my past position. Like, put him ankle, but everything that he's been doing so long and his family, the judgment now is we can't do that. He would share stuff with people. So I think for practical reasons, they're going to secure him somewhere till he dies. And I get it may end up being like a plea deal. So like where he says, I'm mentally insane or whatever. I think they'll agree to some sort of plea deal. Like, fine, we're going to put you in this mental hospital till you die.
That is a real possibility. And what it actually starts here with my card for the readings, my card for Mar-a-Lago. The big building with the red roof and the whole thing. But because of underneath that, because of him getting all of his lies and getting in legal trouble for his lies about his financial situation, things coming to light, changes. It just feels like all of his energy just falls off, and then he's just this man, and he's just left. He's just left there. He's not. There's no tower. There's no Mar-a-Lago. He's just,
I mean, they can't even let him ride around the country in an RV because he'll be inciting riots everywhere.
Right. He's left with nothing but himself, and that's for him. That's a fate worse than death. And again, if I was nothing in this world except him, I'd be. Oh boy, I can understand that. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, I have something. Joan had a question about astrology, and I found something that you might find amusing. Okay.
Awesome. Yep. So I got to run to the ladies' room real quick, so I will be right back. But I'm going to be listening.
Okay. Good. All right. So at 1:05, Joan was saying that in the first week of February of 2023, Saturn will oppose Trump's Mars in Leo. Okay. And later his ascendant. All right. So actually, let me do this. I'm gonna move that, and I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna pull this up, and I'll show you. Okay. So basically, Saturn's kind of up here, and Trump's ascendant, his Mars is near his ascendant, exactly opposite, right? So down by the yellow circle with the curly Q, that's Leo. All right, so Saturn's over here, and Saturn is the big wet blanket. Color's black, it's father time, it's dour. If you do the work, he will reward you, but he is the stick in the mud of the party. If there's somebody's gonna, if one of these planets is going to come along and end the party and just kill the vibe, it's going to be Saturn. All right, so Saturn's coming up, and it's going to be affecting first Trump's Mars, which is how you take action, how you do the thing. Mars, like right here, it rules Aries. Mars and Aries are named the gods of war. It's how we affect things. We do. Well, Saturn on the other side is going to kind of have the seesaw effect, where you try to function but you can't, and you give your strength back and then you don't, and it's it is most vexing. Then that wet blanket Saturn is going to be opposite Trump's ascendant, okay, which is opposite how he presents himself to the world. But what that means is your ascendant is opposite your descendant. So you have, you got one side where the sun comes up and you got one side where it goes down, and they're opposite each other. Well, that means he's going to have Saturn, the big wet blanket, on his descendant. And your descendant is how you, it's how you feel about the world, how you interact with the world. Whereas the other side is how you present yourself. The descendant is how you're interacting with the world. Well, it's going to be a big wet blanket. So I was going to, go through, and I thought, I'll explain that, and I'll add that in and let people know. And then I thought, you know what? I wonder, because sometimes I'll go online and I'll, just do a quick Google search. How are other people describing these transits? Because they'll have some insights sometimes, things I don't know. This is what I found. So see if this is ringing any bells for you. So remember, first week of February, big wet blanket Saturn is going to be opposite Trump's take action Mars, right? Let's see. So Saturn transiting opposite Mars. It's easy to be frustrated and feel stuck for the duration of this transit. This frustration will likely build up into a mound of anger, which could unjustly explode at the wrong time and with people who've done you little or no harm. You can slow the build of your wrath by finding constructive ways to express it, like exercise. It's also important to think more carefully about what you're trying to achieve. Some measure of the resistance you're encountering is not without merit. So, likewise, you could be doing what you're doing, Trump, for the wrong reasons, like ego gratification.
Yeah, I always think of Saturn as like an opportunity, like tearing things down that no longer serve you, and you can reinvent yourself. Like in my Saturn return, I got out of, I was laid off 3 times in the corporate world working in retail because it sucked. And I reinvented myself and decided I'm going to read full time. And I let go of that corporate world, let go of all that energy, and got into doing readings full time. And I used it to work for me. He just uses it to keep breaking everything down like the Tower card and just crash and burn.
Oh, yeah. He might be acting for ego gratification, you don't say. And I put the link in the chat to that page. First, the first link is probably too long, but I put a shorter link. Okay, so that's when Pluto is opposite as Mars. Okay, but then, sorry, Saturn is going to be opposite as Mars. So wet blanket Saturn is then going to be opposite his ascendant, or in the same place as his descendant.
And when is that hitting?
Well, first week of February, Saturn's going to oppose his Mars. And then I'm not sure when, but a little bit later, Saturn will oppose his Mars is relatively close to his ascendant, but Saturn, it moves along, but it's not going to be like a month later. It'll be like a couple of months later, I would imagine. But anyway, or it might just be in the area.
With a little luck, it'll retrograde back and forth there a little. Just hover there, back and forth.
I am absolutely looking that up this afternoon. Absolutely looking that up. Okay, so
is it gonna kind of station back and forth?
Yes. Okay, so when Saturn is going to be in the same place as his descendant, oppose his ascendant. Saturn opposite the ascendant. You might not be or feel like anyone's favorite now. You're at odds with the world. And sometimes those odds seem stacked against you. But you're likely wrong. Oh, about so much, Trump. If you're willing to change your mindset some, you'll see that there are more rooting for you than you might realize. You must appreciate how far you've come.
What's on the bottom when I split my deck? Out in the cold, or people offering love and support to you? The dichotomy.
Appreciate how far you've come rather than pining for how far you must go. And although many like to claim they reached the top on their own, virtually no one has really done this. Allow yourself to be the kind of person you would like to befriend.
Well, that's his only friend is himself. He's being that every day. Like, look at me.
Yes. Hint, be kind. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay. Anyway, so this is from astrology.com, and I'm putting the link to this in the chat as well. So
Darren's asking me about my astrology. Yes, I'm an Aries. My moon is 1 degree Aries. It's like right on the cusp with Pisces. But I also have my Mercury in Aries, and Mercury was retrograde when I was born. So like retrograde Mercury doesn't really affect me like it does a lot of people. My Venus is in Aries and my Sun. So I have a lot of Aries.
You're fiery.
Fiery.
And you got a Gemini ascendant. So then you've got a 10th house Sun, 11th house.
I can't remember what house it is because I'm not real good with the houses, but I remember also my Mars is in Cancer, which
11.
I'd like to be in a water sign, it drowns it out. But I do have a tendency to fight for women's causes, like women's marches. I participate in it. I'm a fighter and it squares my Sun in my natal chart.
Oh.
So it's like my dad thought women were only fit to be pregnant and barefoot, and they're supposed to live at home until they get married, and then they're supposed to go off and have kids and blah, blah, blah. And it's like kind of fighting that masculine, toxic energy, the patriarchal energy, but also from a little bit more nurturing place like Cancer, But I can get into my feelings, if I'm not careful with that Mars and Cancer.
But that's good. Pluto,
or I can blow up like a volcano when the emotions erupt.
Yes, you could very much the warrior, the fighter, the soldier, the person who takes action, they say that it's the first, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac because it really rules that first breath you take and the first thing you do is you cry out, I am here, I am alive, I exist, I act, I be, excuse the bad grammar. And there's a lot of power to that. And they say Pluto is is just an upper octave of Mars. And I think maybe that's why, well, certainly you and I get along well with me being a Scorpio, but Becca has her Pluto on her ascendant. So she's got all of that Pluto intensity and Pluto energy just right up front, which is awesome because she speaks her mind is fantastic.
I think because like my Mercury being in Aries, I have no filter. It's like say it first, think later. I think that's why I'm a good medium is because I can get my filters out of the way because it's out of my mouth before I think about it. Or when I get messages when I'm doing healing energy work, there's no filter. But it's also bad when I'm in an argument because if the volcano does, I'll bite my tongue. If the volcano goes off, I am not a fair fighter. I will bring up stuff from 10 years ago that you did. I got a memory like an elephant, and it's like just, when it finally comes out.
Oh, man. Cosmic Goat Lady says, Autumn, take a breath and ground yourself. Your energy aura is flickering. I'm just juggling. I've got a lot of plates spinning at the moment. But thank you. I appreciate the suggestion. All right. So
we digress.
I don't think we digress. And I don't even know that there's anything to read on there. It's just, that was amusing.
Well, let's look at how Trump's February is going to go for him. Since that's starting to come in February. How will his February go?
Well, actually, I think it would be more like, I don't know when in February, and February is a short month. So what about, since I don't know when it is, maybe February, March?
March, April, yeah. How's
his springtime for Twitler.
Everybody's used to it. Whenever Autumn and I read together, we digress a little bit. We can't help it.
Yeah. And astrologically, different people bring out different things in your chart.
Yeah.
So, with some people, you just can't shut up. And some other people, you just...
I love Scorpios because they can be very deep, very into the metaphysics and things, but they can also go a little dark, and I love that. It's like you're never quite sure which one you're going to get. And that Gemini ascendant will do that too. I have a Gemini ascendant.
Well, I'm as a Gemini ascendant, I love having a Gemini ascendant. It occasionally helps me with a quick comeback, which I think is a very useful skill to have in the modern world. Mm-hmm. But man, I bow to Johnny. Oh my gosh, he has Gemini powers I can only dream of.
The gift of the gab and the wit.
Yes.
The clear thinking and the wit.
He just effortless. Just, I think I'll just turn on the camera and just talk for 8 hours. Just totally. And I'm just like, wow. All right. Springtime for Twitler.
Strength card fell out. Let's see what's going on.
Jessica says, I feel that, Jen, with my Scorpio moon.
Oh, on the bottom.
Aww.
Corruption.
Oh, Darren, that was Jenn Lynn's father. My father is a Sagittarius with a Leo moon. The senator.
My dad was a full-on narcissist, rage narcissist, about as nasty as you can get.
I'm sorry. My father, people who barely know him will have nicknamed him the senator.
Oh,
because he just shows up. He's got that Sagittarius glad handing, worker room, even when it's not his room to work. He's in sales and been in sales and marketing his whole life. He just, and Mom and I, the Pisces, and me, we're back at sitting at the table, and people are like, "Where's your father?" It's like, over there somewhere.
I get he's done. He's toast and clinging still to the lie, to the big lie. That's my card for the big lie and the insurrection and everything and everybody that partnered with him. I get somebody in his family is going to talk about him and whistleblow on him. Somebody's changing, in other words, in his family. I get he may be going away here. This is my whistleblower card. He may be going away somewhere because he's not accepting what's going on here. So trying to figure out how to protect him if they put him somewhere where he can work with others and in a secure location. He needs to be in a secure location. So, how do you put him in isolation somewhere and still have like Secret Service?
Yeah.
Although you incite an insurrection, you should have to forego your Secret Service.
Yeah. Hello. I'm getting the I don't have the Wheel of Fortune card here, but it feels like the Wheel of Fortune is like a giant stone wheel, and it starts like doing that scraping noise as it starts to start turning and then picking up speed. He's got a prosecutor right in the center. He's got institutions coming after Mar-a-Lago. He's desperately trying to win over his base over here, but this feels very weak. I mean, I know the sun is major arcana, but this feels it's like, I mean, it's we're getting near my kingdom for a horse.
I mean, maybe more illumination on to his base of what he's doing too, because like when he did the NFTs, a lot of his base started turning against him.
Yes, and that was quite funny. Stephanie Miller said something about the NFTs with him as a cowboy and an astronaut and all of this. She said, "Is he 8?" It's like, yeah. Money problems, big money problems, such scrutiny, and this feels like the IRS has finally stepped up and gone, "Excuse us, excuse me."
Audit.
Audit, yes. I've got a big old death card. This whole idea of the Trump dynasty is going to crack because it's going to be kind of an every man and woman for themselves. And I don't know what you. I mean, I was getting bad cards on Javanka, and really getting. The main thing I'm getting is just. Slender Man, the evil mannequin, Mr. Stock Photo himself, human stock photo, Jared Kushner. Basically, I get him getting disgust from him towards his wife and the situation, and how could you be so stupid and blah blah blah. So I think things are cracking there. And then I just saw some articles where it's like, oh yeah, apparently it's not just
they're talking divorce. That's in the rumor mills.
Yeah. So
I think Ivanka, she's a weasel. So, she's saying she won't campaign for her dad, and she's trying not to get drawn into all the lawsuits and everything. And then Jared now is under investigation for the $2 billion he took from the Saudis. So Ivanka's like distancing herself from her own husband. It's like she's just out there for herself, like Dad. She's just gonna vacate everybody.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't even want to read on it again. I mean, not just here, but just in general. It's like I don't care. They're so awful, and and everybody else who was it. Kaylee Kakamami came up the other day, and I was just like, she came on after those children were taken away from their parents. That was after that happened, and she came onto that with that administration. I don't care about a word coming out of your face. Yeah. But anyway, I had asked this yesterday, but I'm really, I want to pull a few more cards and see if I can pick up anything else. And I would love if you would ask with me at 126, why hasn't Trump been arrested?
Why hasn't he been arrested for federal crime? I'll put it that way, because he's...
Okay. Yeah, federal crimes.
He's had indictments for fraud and stuff in the past, and he's settled out of court. But why hadn't he been arrested? Mugshot.
And I'm so grateful for you coming on today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I had to dig out my Christmas red sweater for Christmas.
See, on the one hand, yeah, I mean, his lawyers have delayed things and what have you. But on the other hand, the National Archives, instead of saying, excuse us, give us our stuff. And when there was talk that there might be top secret stuff there, it was, would you please return them? No.
Anybody else would have been there have been other people like Chelsea Manning and other people that have taken, what's his name that's hiding out in Russia now?
Snowden,
that have taken private top secret stuff and gotten in trouble for it. Yep.
And there's Michael Cohen was talking to Glenn Kirshner the other day, and they were talking about, Glenn Kirshner was talking about you have to have probable cause to search Trump's other properties. And I'm thinking, if it was anybody else, you have a top secret document. That is the probable cause for us to take your entire life apart.
To take every building you own apart, like be searching everywhere.
Yes.
I get his walls are getting very thin and drenched in ketchup. It's just oozing ketchup now. The walls are getting thinner.
That's not good for the plaster.
Yeah, it's not. I have Eric Trump, who we call I Eat Face. I was doing a reading with a different deck one time, and he came up as the wall licker. I'm like, yeah, he would lick all those ketchup splatters off the wall. There's a naivete that Trump thinks he won't be charged, that he thinks he can get away with it, that because he's the celebrity. I was the president. But I get, this is my card for Merrick Garland. He's asking the right questions. They're getting to the details of it. Everything's getting ready to change here. It's going to go darkest right before the storm is what I heard. Like, this is the darkness. They have to have irrefutable strength in the case. Like, nobody can say, yeah, that's not admissible. And I get he will be broken down in front of all of America to see. This is probably Jack Black coming in here doing it. a lot of things that have been going on for a long time. The truth is coming out, and this is an indictment card for me too. So he's getting ready to get hit. It wasn't really saying why he's getting away with it, other than some naivete, playing with his celebrity powers, so to speak, and kind of shifting how people looked at him. But in New York, why weren't they doing audits on him when he filed bankruptcy the first time?
Thank you.
But
thank you.
Let's not forget Giuliani was in New York at one time too as AG.
That's true. Yeah, I've definitely, I'm getting so many people were willing to fall on their swords for him, or take the burden of all the big stuff and just kind of, I'll just put this over here in this closet. But that's stopping, because now the forces aligned against him are not his sycophants. He's made a few dubious decisions, a few dubious legal decisions as emperor, or this is even him as the head of Griftco. And we right now we're frustrated, and we're also there in the frustration. There's also some anger that's been coming out from various people I've heard in the chat, and with the frustration. But underneath anger is fear. And it's fear that he won't be held accountable, because if he's not, this will happen again. And it might actually be done by somebody with, a whole wit instead of half. And, but it ends with all these cups that feel like they're being knocked down. This will rise out of the muck, we'll be sitting there one day and it'll be breaking news. Donald Trump indicted for this, has to show up for court, arraignment. I pray, I know I'm not going to get one, or I assume I'm not going to get one, but I pray for a perp walk. And if I get a perp walk, I'm going to get a video of it. I'm going to create a loop of it, and I'm going to run it on that half of the screen over and over the whole day I'm reading, the whole time. But I've got, yes, there's aggressive law enforcement coming. There is all of this will rise out of the muck of let's hold them accountable. But it's just, we've been getting that for so long, and I know people get really frustrated.
Yeah.
And
did I say Jack Smith or Jack Black? I have
you said Jack Black, but I thought that was cool.
It was Jack Smith. Jack Black, the actor. I don't know why I Freudian slip that all the time as opposed to Jack Smith.
Well, it's well, first of all, it rhymes, so our brains like that. But it's also it kind of there's a whole history of like Spring Heel Jack the Ripper, other kinds of Jacks through time that are kind of bigger than life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Jack Smith. His energy is bigger than life.
Every photo I have seen of him, he has this energy that just reads, "Don't mess with me."
Yes.
Yes. I wonder if he's an Aries, because he's got that "don't mess with me" energy.
I nobody can figure out.
Nothing's gonna sway him.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's talk that he might be a Pisces. We should make him an institutionalist, because that's the way Pisces will roll in that. If they roll in that direction, they're going to be, think of the Catholic Church is Pisces, and that kind of institution, and this is how things are done, kind of. But and do not even bother talking about the Catholic Church in the chat. I'm making a reference. I'm not saying the Catholic Church is like, oh yeah, they're always sticking to their rules. I was raised Catholic. Don't even. But anyway, but I've looked, and the thing is that the first time that March 11th birth date came up, it was actually with like a 1932 or something.
Yeah, or
Which
1940. I mean, he's younger than
it
me,
was
and I was born in
right.
61. So he's had to have been born, I think, late 60s, early 70s.
Right. He's right. He's somewhere around there, and because that initial report was pulling a birth date from somebody else to get that year, because it's in the same thing. It said he was born in 1932 or 23 or something crazy. He graduated from high school in 87, and I'm like, excuse
Yeah,
I'm sorry, did you
he's a
read
little slow.
you didn't edit this, did you? You didn't read through this before you put it out, did you?
Somebody was it too smart? Somebody went to the Trump Elementary School.
Exactly.
Learn math from him.
Yes. So there's talk he might be Pisces, but honestly, we don't know. And this man, he has managed to scrub his information. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I think the closest I saw was that somebody posting that he graduated from high school in 87 or something.
yeah. But anyway, okay. So on this wonderful Christmas day, we should do a message from Spirit, if that's okay. 1:30, 6:30.
Angels we have heard on high, got a message for us today.
1:30, 6:30.
One of my favorite Christmas songs, by the way. And if you've never heard Josh Groban's version of it, listen to it. There's videos on YouTube with oh shoot, I can't think of the guy's name he's singing with from his duets Christmas album. Beautiful version of that.
That's a good one. Would you mind going first? Tony Bennett, Larry's saying. Was that
Is it Brian McKnight? No, I think it's Brian McKnight with Josh Groban. It's on Josh's album. It's not on Tony Bennett's album. It's Josh's Christmas album. Yeah, I heard like 3 wise men bringing their gifts, to the birth of Jesus. And I've got strength and my God card here. So today is a day where people are feeling a lot of that divine connection. Going within, not accepting, blocking out all the negativity, all the things of ego and everything, and going within and building up that love connection again, allowing divine order to happen. Let go of what doesn't serve you. That's my Saturn card, by the way. Let go of what doesn't serve you, and just know that you are getting gifts. Whether they're tangible or not, you are getting gifts on Christmas also. You just have to change and look at how you perceive those gifts. So even if you're alone, maybe you were gifted some time alone for Christmas for a reason. Use it. I personally like my downtime. So it's bubble bath time.
There we go.
Find a way to, when you're gifted things from the universe, find a way to use it to help you explore what your next chapter is going to be.
I like that.
Today's the day about birth or rebirth. It's a day about birth. So go out, give birth to something new.
Yeah. But between Yule, the rebirth of the sun, and then the new year, it is absolutely a time of rebirth. Thank you, Irma. What I've got is go back to basics. And on this day, I am feeling a whole lot of A Christmas Carol. You know what to do. Just go back to, these people who, we get upset about these materialist people who've taken advantage of others. They don't come to a good end. They don't have a good life. They really don't. Even if they have material wealth, they don't have a good life. Their energy is terrible. And the times when you are kind, the times when you are kind to yourself, when you're kind to others, even these little things. One of my favorite things to do is to meditate on Christmas Day at some point, just because the energy's so good. And the energy's so good because of all the tiny little acts of kindness all over that just add up and add up and add up. And it matters. It matters to your energy. And going into this next year, think about what you're doing in terms of vibration of it. Is it of a high vibration or not? Because that will help you more in this lifetime and beyond than anything else. So just, that whole...
Like the image of money there, that image of money, it's all illusion anyway. You can't take that with you, as a medium. It's like the only thing you can take with you is the love. That's the only thing that goes with you to the other side. And I want to say something too, because a lot of people lose loved ones around the holidays. It's very common. Holidays can be stressful or whatever, or maybe the veil's a little thinner because there's so much love out there during the holiday season. But a lot of people, their loved ones will cross over, during the holiday season. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like the my spouse, whatever. Use it as a reminder to celebrate their life, as opposed to...
Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit. And I want to make sure that I can hear you.
Okay. Am I back?
I think so. Okay, sorry. I want to make sure I hear what you say. Sorry.
Okay. So use that, like the reminder that they pass, like around Christmas or whatever, and it may make you feel, difficult about the holidays and not wanting to celebrate. Use it as a reminder to celebrate their life, because they do celebrate with us on the other side. So, as opposed to being all emotional that they're not here, have a toast to them and say Merry Christmas on the other side. They're with you. They're celebrating with you. So don't worry so much about when they pass. Just know that they send love and support to you all the time too, and celebrate them, and celebrate your holidays.
Absolutely. And yeah, and so with the coming new year and all of that, just I have yet to talk directly with anyone in this community who does not have a good heart. They may have their troubles or their struggles, or and heaven knows I'm not perfect by any stretch, but we are a good community of people who are sensitive generally, and who are really trying to... Or how do I put? I think maybe it'd be better to say, I have yet to meet anybody who is in this community who's trying to screw everybody else over. And nobody in Trump's world can say that. Nobody. They all are. That's got to be terrible. Mm. So, and these are the choices we make every day to be... The kindness matters. It really does. And it'll be good for you. It's good for your health. It's good for your whole life. It's good for your spiritual life, your future on the other side, everything. So, and I hope... Go ahead, please.
Just a reminder, if you're alone on the holidays, you're not if you're here with us.
Exactly. And I do occasionally, if anyone would like one, I send out hugs out there. So a Christmas hug, if you would like one, sending that your way. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Black and Orange. Jenn Lynn, thank you so much. It is an honor to read with you. You are so good, and I just think the world of you.
Thank you. I just love reading with you too, and it's a pleasure to spend Christmas with you.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas to Lori from the Way of Positive Change. I usually am on with her on Christmas Day. She went to Seattle to see her brother for Christmas, so little shout out to Lori.
Hi, Lori. She's quite possibly the sweetest human being I've ever met in my entire life.
She's just so sweet.
Yes.
Very genuine.
Yes. All right. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. I wish all the best for you, and God bless us, everyone.
And happy Hanukkah if you're celebrating Hanukkah.
Absolutely. All right. So don't forget, you are not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead, and I will be right back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Bye.